Today on MUFC Pulse, we'll dive into some incredibly intriguing news. Cut price deal for Felix Nmecha and the lowdown on Ederson'S Man United move. For more on this story, check out the video. We also have some equally exciting football news coming up, so stay tuned until the end to catch it all. Welcome to MUFC Pulse. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell for more updates. Man United plan cheap bid for Felix Nmecha. Manchester United are facing a massive dilemma in their hunt for a new midfielder, with Felix Nmecha emerging as one of three main targets alongside Aurelien Tchouameni and Alex Scott. However, the Red Devils' progress is being blocked by this summer's transfer market inflation, which has seen Borussia Dortmund set the player's price tag at no less than £103 million. This massive figure is seen as completely unrealistic by the management, who are now running the club's financial decisions. As a compromise, the Old Trafford camp are reportedly putting together an official bid of around £51 million to try and tempt the German giants into softening their stance. If Dortmund stubbornly stick to their high price tag, United look set to proceed very carefully and will instantly turn their attention to other options that make more sense. The management will not force the move unless Dortmund are willing to drop their price closer to that opening offer. Away from the tricky negotiations, Nmecha's main appeal for Manchester United actually lies in his registration status, which would be very useful for domestic competitions. Because the midfielder is a product of a football academy in England, he will automatically count as a homegrown player if he returns. This status would give the Red Devils an instant and brilliant advantage in meeting the squad registration rules for the Premier League. Ederson'S medical schedule and transfer details. The transfer of Atalanta's star midfielder, Ederson, to Manchester United has now entered its final and most crucial stage. Every bit of the negotiation and paperwork is strictly under the full control of the Red Devils management to secure the player's signature. Despite various rumors floating around, the club's board moved swiftly to ensure that this deal would not slip through their fingers. The arrival of the Brazilian midfielder is highly anticipated to bring a much-needed sense of stability to the squad as they prepare for the fierce competition in both domestic and European fixtures next season. Previously, quite a bit of worry had grown among loyal Manchester United supporters due to the official announcement of the transfer being continuously delayed. Many feared that the deal was on the verge of collapsing halfway through because of sudden hitches between the two parties. However, these whispers about a cancelled deal were firmly rubbished by a highly trusted transfer journalist in their latest update. Both the club and the players' representatives made it clear that the commitment built from the very start remains rock solid, and there is absolutely no intention to call off the move. The delay of the official announcement is purely down to unavoidable logistical issues faced by the player amidst a hectic schedule. Right after the initial agreement was reached between Atalanta and Manchester United, Ederson had to answer an urgent call-up from the Brazil national team. This sudden call to represent his country in the prestigious 2026 World Cup meant the midfielder had to fly out immediately, leaving everything behind. Because of this pressing international duty, he has not yet had the chance to complete the full round of formal medical checks scheduled at the Carrington training ground. It was always on the cards for Ederson to move clubs this summer transfer window to progress his professional career. Initially, it seemed the midfielder's next destination would be Spanish giants Atletico Madrid, who also showed a keen interest. However, the Spanish club failed to reach a satisfying financial agreement with Atalanta after long and grueling talks. It was this failure by Atletico Madrid that Manchester United capitalized on so brilliantly, nipping in to hijack and wrap up the deal. The momentum of this talented midfielder's move is set to pick up significant pace over the next few days. This follows Brazil's shock exit in the World Cup round of 16 after being knocked out by Norway. While a bitter pill to swallow for the Samba team, this defeat has come as a bit of a blessing in disguise for the Red Devils, who are keen to wrap up the transfer quickly. With his international duties wrapped up, Ederson's focus has now completely shifted to finalizing his move to the English giants. Ederson is scheduled to fly out to Manchester this very week to undergo the second part of his thorough medical checks. Once all the medical formalities are sorted and the official legal papers are signed by everyone involved, he will be officially unveiled. The Manchester United management has already lined up a special welcome to introduce the player as a new Red Devil at Old Trafford. He is expected to jump straight into pre-season training sessions to get properly ready for the grueling new season alongside his new teammates. Financially, both clubs have shaken hands on a transfer package worth a guaranteed £35 million base fee, which could potentially rise to a total of £39 million once performance bonuses of £3.8 million are added. The 26-year-old player is also reported to have agreed personal terms on a 4-year contract with the option for a further year's extension. Regarding personal terms, Ederson is rumored to be picking up wages in the region of €4.5 million to €5 million per year. After all medical formalities are cleared, the choice of his squad number will be closely watched, given that Ederson has been heavily linked with the number 13 throughout his career. However, that shirt is currently worn by Patrick Dorgu, leaving numbers 14, 17, or the number 18 shirt left behind by Casemiro available for him. Manchester United's admiration for the midfielder is by no means something that happened overnight. Back in May and June, Manchester United finally made their long-standing interest in the Atalanta midfielder official. The Brazilian player has actually been on the club's scouting radar for years thanks to his impressive displays in domestic football. However, it was only in this year of 2026 that the Red Devils decided to make an aggressive move and take proper action to bring him over to English soil. The addition of Ederson to Old Trafford is absolutely vital as he is set to be the first signing to strengthen the team's midfield. His arrival will serve as the crucial foundation under the leadership of the new permanent manager, Michael Carrick. Carrick knows exactly what qualities the Brazilian international brings to his tactical plans. Gary Neville and Roy Keane praise Lisandro Martinez's performance for Argentina. The round of 16 match in the 2026 World Cup in Atlanta, United States, served up one of the most dramatic fixtures for the Argentina national team. Facing Egypt, the reigning champions were forced to dig incredibly deep after falling 2 goals behind in the second half. However, with their never-say-die attitude, Argentina managed a remarkable turnaround to secure a narrow 3-2 victory. Argentina's winning goals were scored by Cristian Romero, Lionel Messi, and Enzo Fernandez respectively. This emotional victory owed much to the performance of the Argentina backline, which featured Manchester United defender Lisandro Martinez. Starting the match from the first whistle, Martinez once again partnered the tough Tottenham Hotspur defender, Cristian Romero. The combination of these two defenders became a vital foundation for Argentina's tactics in keeping alive their hopes of retaining the world title. Before this crucial match against Egypt, Martinez had even scored the decisive goal when Argentina defeated Cape Verde with an identical 3-2 scoreline in the round of 32. Although Argentina successfully advanced to the next round, the performance of their backline still drew heavy scrutiny from football pundits around the world. One of the most attention-grabbing comments came from the legendary former Manchester United defender, Gary Neville. Speaking during the live post-match broadcast, Neville gave a rather blunt analysis of the performance of the Argentina central defensive duo. The criticism leveled by the man who now works as a football commentator sounded quite brutal but also honest. Gary Neville labeled Cristian Romero and Lisandro Martinez with a unique description that sparked a lot of conversation on social media. The former Red Devils captain called the pair the worst yet best central defensive partnership in the world at the moment. He deliberately gave them this contradictory nickname to describe just how eccentric the playing style of the Argentina backline has been throughout the tournament. The statement immediately became the main headline across various British and global sports media outlets. Neville explained the reason behind his extreme assessment by highlighting the fragility of the Argentina defense, which was very easily breached by the opposition. In his view, looking at the way Martinez and Romero play, the pair seem to make mistakes very often that lead to goals against their own team. Facing Egypt's quick counterattacks, their defensive coordination looked shaky for a time, causing Argentina to fall 2 goals behind. Neville assessed that as a defender, constantly giving the opposition space to score is a very risky business. On the flip side, however, Gary Neville also heaped praise on the psychological aspect and mentality possessed by the two players. He stated that Martinez and Romero are the type of footballers who do not care in the slightest even if they have just made a fatal mistake. Instead of feeling under pressure or losing their self-belief after conceding, they actually carry on playing with absolute confidence. This carefree character and mental toughness are what Neville believes make them highly unique compared to other modern defenders. Furthermore, the English football legend also admired the massive personality shown by the defensive duo, who are always able to make amends for their defensive errors with real contributions at the sharp end of the pitch. Neville pointed out how Martinez was able to score a crucial goal in the previous match, and how Romero managed to score the equalizer against Egypt. When the team is up against it and fighting for survival, these two defenders actually emerge as heroes who spark the team's revival. They proved that a strong personality on the pitch is often the key to victory. Similar praise also came from another legendary former Manchester United captain in the same studio, namely Roy Keane. Keane specifically gave very high praise to the build-up to the goal scored by Cristian Romero against Egypt. The man famous for his sharp comments praised the off-the-ball movement made by Romero inside the opposition penalty box. Even though Egypt tried to deploy a high defensive line, Romero was judged to have been very clever in escaping his marker. According to Roy Keane's deep analysis, the movement and timing shown by Romero when meeting the accurate cross were on par with the quality of a world-class striker. Keane emphasized that apart from the poor coordination of the Egypt defense, Romero's strong desire to help the team score goals was fantastic. In the end, the combination of Gary Neville's sharp criticism and Roy Keane's praise underlines that the performance of Lisandro Martinez and his partner in the Argentina backline is indeed full of extraordinary dynamics. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comment your opinion.